When setting up a project in the SIMCA software, there are 4 entries: the regular project, batch project, spectroscopy project, and the omics project. In this how-to video, I'm going to show you how to set up a spectroscopy project. First of all, we have to locate the raw data file. In this case, we're using data from our tutorial exercise called Karaginan. You can read more in the exercise document in our training material about the background to the Karaginan example. We click open. In this case, the data for the exercise is organized as 4 separate worksheets, and we will select to import these worksheets as separate sheets. So here we start with the Raman tab. We have a primary ID for all the samples, which is like a run order. We have a secondary ID, which is a sample number. We have an additional secondary observation ID, which is the day when the samples were done. In addition to the observation IDs, we have 2 variable IDs. We have the primary ID telling about a run order, you can say, among all the variables in the entire dataset. And then we come to the identifier that is specific to the spectroscopy project. We have up here a spectral ID where we can use common spectral IDs, and we can also custom make it and give it a specific name. In this case, the spectral ID is the wave number, and when we invoke the spectral ID, SIMCA will know that this will be a spectroscopy project. We continue with the IR dataset and make similar additions, modifications. We assign the day number to be a secondary observation ID and verify that the spectral ID is recognized as the wave number. Also for the NIR data, we need to do the same verifications. We have the day number being a secondary observation ID, and the spectral ID is now the wavelength. Finally, coming to the Y block, you can see that we have 5 Y variables, and they represent proportions of the 5 naturally occurring types or constituents of karaginans in the environment where they are sampled. So we have the lambda constituent, the kappa, iota, mu, and nu constituents, and these proportions sum up to 100%. Because there are no issues reported in the issues pane, we can finish the import. We give the project a name and click save. And upon this, we are transferred over to SIMCA, where we see that we have 4 worksheets open. We have Raman data that seems to have been correctly imported. The wave number is recognized as a spectral ID. Similarly with the IR data, they seem to be correctly imported and the wave number is identified as the spectral ID. And finally, regarding spectral data, we have NIR data and the wavelength is identified as the spectral ID. The last data set is the Y block, where we can see the proportions of the 5 naturally occurring variants of karaginans, and here all data are also correctly recognized. Now, once we have launched the SIMCA spectroscopy project, there are a couple of buttons that are dedicated to spectral data. For instance, we have a calibration wizard by which you can start the different calibration sessions. How to operate the calibration wizard is part of the next how-to video. What I usually recommend that you do before you even go in and start the calibration wizard, any session in it, is just to plot the spectral data to make sure that they have been imported correctly. So we can create a plot of the NIR data. We can quickly create a plot of the IR data. And the same goes with the Raman data. And perhaps we want to tile them side by side. We can even close this one to get some more workspace. And by tiling the three spectral plots side by side, we get a feeling for what is going on in the data. So what we see here in front of us are spectra plots for a dataset containing 128 carrageenan samples. We have to the left the Raman spectra measurements, in the middle we have the IR spectra, and to the right we have the NIR spectra. In this mode, SIMCA will color every spectrum using a default coloring scheme. You can here start to color these spectra using additional attributes or other attributes, such as you can color according to the numerical value of one of the Y variables, or color according to information in some metadata provided in the secondary identifiers. But how to do that is part of the coming how-to videos using the spectroscopy entrance into SIMCA. So for the moment, this is all I wanted to show you in this how-to video. I hope you find it useful, and thank you very much for watching.